In this episode of the Great American Cruise-In, I found a 1969 Camaro SS that was rescued from the rust heap and fully restored to showroom quality. I'm Scott Hudeman, and I am fascinated with classic cars. That's why I travel from car shows to cruise-ins to meet owners and learn about their passion for classic cars and the stories behind these amazing restorations. So join me as I go deep into this car show at the Hunsader Pumpkin Festival in Bradenton, Florida, to learn more about this incredible 1969 Camaro SS restoration. In the classic car era of the 1960s, one car stands out as the most iconic muscle car for that time, the Chevrolet Camaro SS. I spoke with owner Ron Conover, who shared with me the amazing story of how this neglected classic was rescued from certain oblivion to become one of the finest Camaro restorations I have ever seen. Tell me what you brought to the show today. What kind of car do you have?
69 Camaro SS 350.
And tell me some of the basic specs of what you have in this car.
It's a 6.9, it's got 355 cubic inch engine, 4-speed, 9-inch rear end, 4-wheel disc brakes. Pretty much restored back to body-wise, all original, drivetrain not.
How's the performance on this car?
It runs pretty good. It's 425 horse.
Okay, so what was your inspiration for getting this beautiful Camaro SS?
I had one when I was a kid, like most people, and then you just want another toy when you get older. And so I bought it, shell, and then totally restored it.
Well, let's talk about the acquisition of it. How did you find it, and how did you get it into your shop for this project?
I talked around a lot of people. One guy told me he knew where one was sitting under a tarp, and I went and checked it out, and the guy had sold it to me, bought the body for like about $12,000. And then I went ahead and stripped it all the way down, new floors, new quarters, new skins, re-sheet metal the whole car, new wiring harness, everything in the car is new.
So you basically saw the car under a tarp, is that correct? And you saw it and you saw love at first sight because it was the Camaro that you were looking for.
That is correct. So like that, so I bought it, like I said, and started restoring it.
Okay, so let's talk about that restoration and the modifications that you did to it, starting with the body. What kind of shape was it in, and how much work did you have to put into getting this car into this beautiful shape that it's in today?
A lot of work. It's almost 3.5 years. Told the body completely off the subframe, new floorboards. Like I said, all new skins, door skins, new quarters, new front fenders. All new wiring harness, new interior. Everything in this car is pretty much new. I wanted the car to look like it did off the factory, so I kept it looking original.
So when you have front quarters and panels and all that you're saying are new, you're saying that you actually had to replace them?
Yes. I had to order them through the catalogs and order all new fenders. Everything in the car is pretty much is new because the old ones has a rust on it and they were bent.
If you're buying a lot of new components to rebuild a car, how much of the original car that you purchased is still here?
All the car is original except for the sheet metal. Like I said, it's on the outside. I mean, the frame and all that stuff is all original, and gauges and all that, center console, all that stuff is original, and seats and all.
Okay, so let's go into the interior, because the interior is a beautiful black that kind of matches this dark red color. What condition was the interior in when you purchased the car, and how much work did you have to do with it?
Interior was average. It wasn't up to my par, so I went ahead and ordered all new skins and had them redone at one of my friend's shop. So we reupholstered the whole interior, a new headliner and everything in it.
And how about the dash and the components? Were they in pretty good shape?
The dash was good. The gauges, tack, and all was in good shape. And the center console, that was all good. I didn't have to replace any of that.
Okay, so let's go under the hood and then back under the car, engine, transmission, back end. What kind of shape was the engine, transmission, and how much work did you have to do to restore it?
The car did not have an engine when I bought it. So I went out and looked for a 69 block, and then I had rebuilt it and had it bored out to a 355, 425 horse, because I wanted to keep the right engine, and the 4-speed transmission was still in it. And then the rear end, I put a 9-inch Ford rear end in it with 373 gears. And then I put 4-wheel disc brakes on it.
Okay, so you pretty much put in a new drivetrain, new power plant.
Its drivetrain's all been totally rebuilt, yes.
Are there any other modifications that you've done to this car since the time that you got it from underneath that tarp?
Yeah, I put air conditioning in it. It's too hot down here without it.
Was that difficult to do in a car that was probably not originally designed with AC?
No, it's very easy to put an air conditioning in a car like this. It only took me about 3 hours.
So let's talk about the numbers in this car because it is absolutely beautiful. What did you buy it for? How much do you think you put into it? And then what do you think the street value is on this car?
Well, I have $45,000 in the car. And that's me doing all the work except for the actual spray painting job. I had a guy come over, a bill that does all the appraisal around. He praised it at $82,000. That's retail, though, which you'll never get, but it's retail.
And what did you pick the car up for?
I bought the car for about $12,000.
What does this Camaro SS mean to you?
It's youth. I mean, you get in a bad mood, you go out, pull a few gears, you come home, you're smiling again. So that's why most people have old classic cars.
So for somebody that wants to restore a classic car, what's your advice to them? What can you tell them about this build journey?
Try to find a car that's rust-free. That's most expensive. If you find a car that's rust-free, it's not as expensive to restore. And it's worth spending the extra money for a rust-free car.
In the 1960s, the Camaro SS was the car to own among muscle car enthusiasts. Today, almost 50 years later, this beautifully restored icon is every much as relevant as it was so many years ago. If you enjoyed this show and don't want to miss the next new episode, click on the subscribe button in the description below, and I'll send you an email with a link to each new show. It's the easiest and best ways to never miss one of the stories of these amazing classic cars. You can also check out this car and more on our YouTube channel and Instagram page where we post the best of the best from car shows and cruise-ins. Just follow the links to these channels on our website at greatamericancruisein.com. And if you have a car that you want to show off, send us an email with pictures and all the details so that we can show it off on our website. See the footer section of the homepage for more information. I want to thank you for spending your time with me, and I look forward to sharing another amazing classic car story on the Great American Cruise-In.